What's up guys, the one, the only, the Hunted Reaper here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Warmind DLC, the second DLC for Destiny 2, and I'm going to say straight out the gate, it is not what I expected, and it is a bad job. I'm a fan of Destiny, and honestly, I was really hoping for this DLC to be something more, but in today's video, I'm going to be going over all the reasons why I think this could possibly be one of the worst DLCs in the history of the Destiny franchise. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Give me a like, and if you disagree or anything, leave a comment. Maybe talk about why you disagree with things I said, and hopefully we can start a discussion about Destiny 2 and how it can become better. Because in the end of the day, all these reviews and all these things I do are just basically me hoping that people at Destiny see them and make the game better. Because again, at the end of the day, the better the video game, the happier the gamer. But without further ado, let's get to the review. I'm going to start this review a little unorthodox and talk about the opening sequence. First off, as soon as I saw it, it looked amazing. The amount of destruction, craziness, new characters, new enemies, and new things happening in the cutscene made me really believe that they put a lot of effort into it. The cutscene was beautifully done, the graphics were awesome, and it made me really want to just get in and start playing the Warmind DLC. Unfortunately, my amusement ended there, and as soon as I stepped into the game, the cutscenes were terrible, the facial animations were decent, and I had no connection to any of the characters. Seeing Zavala again for the first time in a while talk, I had no emotional connection to him. I didn't care about his character, I didn't care about why they were there. All I wanted to do was shoot new enemies, and I didn't even get that. The cutscenes were subpar, and the story is forgettable, just like the last DLC and Destiny before it. For a game that gives itself so much credit based on its lore and universe, they haven't made a great lore and universe. And it's insane that in the second DLC, Destiny has actually taken away a lot of things from characters and made the game even less fun to play. The new location, Mars, follows the same Destiny tropes that we've been seeing and being disappointed with all the time. It shows these grandiose locations, these beautiful villas, these beautiful places, and allows us to see them from afar, but never really explore them or enjoy an amazing onslaught of colors. You know, with a game that has so many colors and so many different things and set in space, you'd think the developers would be, get the chance to start messing around with color schemes and how things look and different enemies. But honestly, Mars feels so bland and boring. You know, it's dull, and the color scheme is red just like Venus, and especially when you just had the first DLC have the same color palette as the second one, it feels boring, tedious, and just overall like they didn't put much work into it. The enemies haven't even changed as well. Yes, people can technically say there are new enemies, but that's not the case. Most of the enemies have just been reskinned, and some of them do different types of damage. Like the zombie enemies will definitely do some ice damage and slow you down, but nothing has really changed. And again, for a DLC, seeing no new enemy variation, seeing no new kind of locales, and just being kind of bored by a story made this actually feel like a job to play. As I was playing this game, the only time I was happy was when I was leveling up or getting a gun that was good, because that's what makes Destiny addicting. I got a level 350 hard light gun, and I was super happy getting it, and I kicked ass with it, and it made me, it reminded me of why I like Destiny so much. It's because it's that grind, and then you could see your character be stronger. The problem is, I came across the same types of enemies, the same types of situations, and they only changed it up a little bit by adding some new things. And those new things weren't really permanently new, it was just little gimmicks. Like as you're seeing right now, all I'm doing right now is taking a spear and throwing it at enemies, killing them instantly. It's basically a gimmick section, like in Doom when they give you the best guns and tell you to go apeshit before the final boss battle. They give you infinite ammo, they give you all the tools you need, and it looks like it's fun, but honestly it requires no skill and it's only fun once. The replayability of these campaigns are getting less and less just because of the fact we've played these campaigns so many times. Now the deadliest sin that Bungie and Activision committed is something that's actually causing a lot of legal trouble for the team themselves. Bungie and Activision are being sued for false advertising because Xbox One and PC owners do not get a new map. It's only PS4 owners that get a new strike map, and when, there's so little content in a game and it's all about replayability, adding a new strike map could add hours and hours to the gaming experience. I honestly believe there should be at least 3 new strikes for every DLC. However, we're only given 1, and at this point we're given none just because of the fact PS4 has some sort of lease on Destiny. But when lease comes at the expense of all the gamers and people aren't able to properly experience what other people are experiencing just because they have a different system, it's honestly corrupt. Just because of the fact you have a different system doesn't mean you don't get to enjoy the same things in a video game. When it comes to skins and having certain like flagrant guns just to have for the hell of it, it's okay. But when you're taking out whole chunks of DLC to make it exclusive, it's criminal. And it's terrible that all the people on Xbox, including myself, and all the people on PC are forced to pay $20 for a product that isn't even finished, and things are taken out of it. Now, one of the few things that this DLC does right is the amount of new exotic armor and weapons. They're actually really cool to look at, they have really cool attributes, and they're actually really well made. Compared to the old armor and the old exotics in the game, these definitely beat it, and they're definitely more nice to look at. I mean, also, just because of the fact that Curse of Osiris set the bar so low for new weapons that there's no way I couldn't have been happy to see new kind of exotics. Also, because of the fact that there are so little exotics in the game, I feel like it's going to be very easy for everyone to collect all they can and then be in that same stagnant point where every gamer or every avid gamer of Destiny is at, where they have all the guns, they have everything they want, and they don't know what to do. Because honestly, at this point in time, the longer you play Destiny, the closer you are to just finishing it and waiting for the next DLC. The game basically ends after you beat the max level. After you get to level 280 and you're level, not 280, after you get to level 380 this time around and you are level 30, that's it, and there's not much more to do. Basically collect all the guns that you've collected and hope that an exotic drops the gun that you wanted, or wait for Xur to make an engram for it. But honestly, it feels like this kind of tedious process isn't working anymore, and you could see it in the player amounts for Destiny. A game that started out with 8.4 million and now has only about 600,000 players, including, and this is basically including, the brand new DLC dropping. And I've noticed it. I've noticed the amount of people playing have been less, and it's only the more hardcore Destiny fans, because a lot of people have found this cycle tedious and it's getting really boring. The levels don't feel different, there's not much more to do, and everything is starting to feel the same. And if you're looking at this gameplay right now, you can almost, there is a possibility that someone who hasn't played Destiny in a while will be like, this isn't even a DLC. Because you're seeing the same enemies, you're seeing the same environments, the same guns, and it's the same gameplay with a few new gimmicks, and it's not enough to sell me on it. And listen, if you're a fan of Destiny, you should definitely buy this. It's more Destiny, but you may be a little disappointed. It's not all that it could have been, and I haven't played the raid yet, and I will do a separate review on the specific raid. But if I'm paying $20 just to experience a raid, I have to think to myself, am I getting scammed at this point? Is Bungie scamming all of us? And this is worse than a microtransactions. It's forcing us to pay for something because they didn't give us a full game. And there's basically a block that you can't play the game anymore if you don't have the DLC. And it's a pathetic thing to know, because a lot of RPGs and MMORPGs have these systems where you can properly get guns, do a lot more stuff. I have a video where I talk about if Destiny was more like Borderlands, and honestly I wish it was, because they would have had more character trees, more enemies, more diversity, and less possibility for me to get bored. The reason why Borderlands worked so well is because they had such diversity, everything was colorful, everything was fun to do, that replaying the game felt like replaying a brand new game. And when Destiny releases a DLC that has almost everything the same as the prior DLCs and adds almost nothing new except for a few little gimmicks and a few little Easter eggs with a few overpowered spoilers, no new character trees, no new enemies except for skins, and nothing new for the story that people really give a shit about, you have to wonder, is it worth it to buy the game? And if you're a diehard Destiny fan, you're definitely going to buy it, and it's more Destiny, like I said. However, if you're on the verge of Destiny and you didn't have that much fun with Curse of Osiris, I really strongly don't recommend this DLC, because I picked it up and I felt bad for buying it. Destiny is one of the video games that I get my most views from, and I'm usually happy to play it. You know, Curse of Osiris, I was happy to play it, happy to grind through it, and it was a little bit annoying, and I was waiting for Warmind to come out, and I was really hopeful for the Warmind DLC, but it just disappointed me to a point where I don't understand, and that's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10, because it still has the core mechanics of Destiny, it still is kind of fun to play, but it really doesn't do much, and I would have given it like a 7 out of 10, but because of the fact that Destiny decided, or Activision decided, to take out a whole strike from a small DLC that cost $20 and only give it to PlayStation owners is just disgusting, and honestly, it's taking advantage of gamers. People can't afford to buy a whole PS4 if they only have an Xbox One, and it's absurd that a game that makes so much money is being so greedy, or their contract is screwing them over so much that they cannot release other content on all systems, and that's just unfair to all gamers. In conclusion, honestly, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be playing Destiny. This DLC was a disappointment to me, and I'm going to be grinding for the raid, and I'm going to be making a video to help you guys get to level 380, and I'm going to be doing everything I can about Destiny. But honestly, at this point, I feel like the franchise is dying, which sucks because I love Halo and I love Bungie, and I know there's so much potential for this game. There's a whole universe out there. There's all this lore that is unexplored, but Destiny keeps on going the safe route and has us battling the same boring enemies that we've been bored with since 2014. Honestly, in a brand new game with 2 DLCs, the fact that we haven't seen any new enemy types except for different bosses that have the same kind of health bar is despicable. And honestly, I really believe that Destiny can be an amazing game. It could be the game of a generation, but Activision and Bungie refuse to do that. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you give me a like, subscribe, maybe even a comment about your opinion. And if you guys didn't like this video, I hope you guys just appreciated my opinion. To each opinion his own, and if you love Destiny, you love Destiny, and you're gonna buy it anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe, and continue to watch The Hunted Reaper. I got a lot of videos coming up.